Today, we are diving into the Sri Lalita Sahasranamam. Now, this is a sacred Hindu text, but it's so much more than just a list of 1,000 names for a goddess. Think of it more like a cosmic blueprint, one that reveals everything from epic, universe-shattering battles to the secrets of our very own inner power. Let's get right into it.
So, here's the big question that sits at the heart of all this. What if a single ancient prayer could describe a war fought with unimaginable divine weapons, and at the same time give you a roadmap to awaken a powerful spiritual energy that's literally coiled at the base of your spine? It's this incredible journey from a cosmic battlefield to the battlefield within ourselves.
So, here's how we're going to unpack all of this. We'll start with the Great Cosmic War, then we'll check out the ultimate arsenal they used, we'll witness an amazing moment of creation, then we'll deconstruct the goddess herself into a body made of pure sound, and finally we'll see how it all connects to something called a river of nectar that's inside each of us.
All right, so our story kicks off with a conflict that is just massive. We're not talking about a small skirmish here. This is a full-on battle for the very fabric of existence, a clash between the forces of the divine and, well, pure chaos.
So, on one side, you have our hero, the supreme goddess Sridevi, and on the other, you have this incredibly powerful demon king, Pandasura. And he's not alone. He's got a whole army with him, an army hell-bent on disrupting the entire cosmos. The stakes really couldn't be any higher.
But right out of the gate, there's a huge problem. See, Bandasura is a pretty clever enemy. He uses this magical device. You can think of it like a kind of psychological weapon. And it just zaps Sridevi's army. It infects them with laziness, fatigue, and this crushing self-doubt. So before a single blow is struck, her forces are basically crippled from the inside.
So what do? How do you fight an enemy who can take out your army without even laying a finger on them? Well, you break out an arsenal that is beyond anything you can imagine. Let's take a look at how Sridevi fights back. Now, the text tells us that the divine weapons used in this war kind of fall into two main categories. First, you've got your armaments. These are your close quarters weapons, swords, maces, that kind of thing. But then you have the missiles. These are divinely powered projectiles that can be launched from incredible distances. And believe me, this is where things get really wild. The sheer creativity of the power here is just mind-blowing. The Demon King launches this powerful missile at her, but Sridevi's response is on a whole other level. From her 10 fingernails, yeah, you heard that right, her fingernails, she creates 10 forms of the god Narayan, and each of these new gods just effortlessly takes out a demon leader. What a counterattack! But even that wasn't the endgame. When it was time to finish the war for good, Sridevi unleashed her ultimate weapon, the Maha Pashupatam. And the text is crystal clear about its power. It is capable of burning the entire world. This is basically the divine nuclear option. And the result was exactly as advertised. The entire demon army, all of it, all their might, all their power, was instantly incinerated. In a flash, just gone, turned to ash. And that was the end of the Great Cosmic War. So, we've just seen this unbelievable destructive power. But here's the thing. The same source of power that can wipe out entire armies can also create gods out of thin air. Let's rewind a bit, back to that moment when her army was completely demoralized. This part is just beautiful, and it shows a totally different kind of power. Remember that magical device making everyone lazy? To fix it, Sridevi doesn't launch a missile. No, she just shares a loving glance with her divine companion. And right there, at the point where their gazes meet, a brand new god is born. Sri Ganapati, the great remover of obstacles. He appears, shatters the enemy's device, and boom, the army's will to fight is restored. All from a single look. Okay, this is a real turning point for us. We're shifting gears now, moving away from these huge external battles to something much more subtle, something internal. What if the goddess herself isn't just a warrior figure, but is actually a living, breathing formula of cosmic sound? So get this. Here's a core idea in the text. Sridevi's true form isn't flesh and blood. It's actually made entirely of mantras, of sacred sound formulas. Her physical being is just a manifestation of these divine syllables. It's a huge concept that the divine isn't a being that has power, but it is the very vibration of power itself, expressed as sound. This table gives us a great visual of how this works. It breaks down one of the main mantras, the Panchadashi, which is split into 3 parts. Each part actually corresponds to a section of her body. The Vagbhava group is her face, and it's the source of knowledge. The Kamaraja group is her torso, from the neck to the waist, and it grants desires. And finally, the Shaktikuta is from the hip down, and that represents the raw creative energy of the universe. Her body is literally a map of divine power.
And this brings us to our final stop, and honestly, it might be the most important one. How does any of this, a cosmic goddess, a body made of sound, how does that relate to us, right here, right now? Well, the text suggests that this entire cosmic drama is also playing out inside the human body. The key that unlocks this whole idea is a concept called Kundalini. The source describes it as this subtle, incredibly powerful energy that lies sleeping at the base of the spine in every single person. It's like this wellspring of potential just waiting to be tapped. Now, this energy isn't supposed to just stay asleep forever. The text explains that there's a central channel called the Sushumna Nadi that runs right up your spine. And this is the highway for that Kundalini energy once it's finally woken up. So through different practices, things like yoga and meditation, this coiled energy can be awakened. And when it is, it starts this amazing journey, rising up that central channel from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head, lighting up different energy centers as it goes. So what happens when it gets to the top? The language the source uses here is just fantastic. It says a nectar called Kulamarutha starts to flow. And then it says, Sri Devi whoops it up in this juice. I mean, come on. It's describing the state of divine bliss, this incredible joy of being immersed in this internal, life-giving energy. The goddess is no longer some external being to be worshipped. She is the experience of this awakened power. So we end up right back where we started, but now everything looks different. After seeing a cosmic war, a goddess made of sound, and an inner river of nectar, this ancient text leaves us with this one final powerful question. Is the ultimate divine power some external force out there that you're supposed to worship? Or is it an internal energy, coiled and patiently waiting inside of you, just waiting to be awakened?